Good morning. It is a beautiful 10 degrees in winter Sydney, and I am near Darling Harbour, near the IMAX. Now this IMAX opened at the end of last year, but it sort of had some ugly construction work still happening on the outside of it. And now it's finally open, and they've got a kids play area that's just finished too, which is, well, I guess it's for adults too, because I get excited when I see it and I want to go on and have some fun. How inviting is that playpen? Don't you just want to jump on the nets and break a shoulder? Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. And today I thought I would have a more fun, fluid, unplanned little chat with you as we walk along and check out some of the exciting new developments here in Sydney, CBD. I might actually wander around to Barangaroo, take you with me. There's a lot happening in Australia, and I know that a lot of people are having a really hard time, just living life. But one thing that I've become more and more aware of as I've realized more and more people are watching my videos, which I do appreciate, is I feel the responsibility to create things that aren't going to overburden our already over-addled mind with problems, and create things that maybe we can focus on things that are uplifting and things that are going right. There's also a whole lot of really good stuff that's happening here, and that's my intention, is to focus on that stuff. Winter time is so crisp. It's like, look at that perfect blue sky. I'm just noticing it now. For those of you that have been following me for a while, you might have noticed I've done something a little bit different with my hair. Well, lighting. But there's a deliberate reason behind that, and it's exciting. There's an opportunity that has presented itself, and it hasn't come to full fruition yet. I don't know, but as soon as I find out, I will let you know. It's something that could be completely life-changing. So I'm excited. And can't you sense that there's something in the air? So if you're maybe feeling like you need a change, and maybe it's your job, maybe it's where you are, but you can feel that shift, that it's the right time to start making decisions and thinking about things that you do have control over. There's something that I have been deeply pondering, and that is whether what we're doing is ultimately going to be good for us, whether something is actually a good fit for you, because you might be good at something, but is it good for you in the long run? And having that time to reflect is so invaluable for the insights. And one thing that springs to mind as well is how easy it is for us to just reach to our phone every time we feel uncomfortable or every time we are bored. But the skill of being unentertained, of not constantly filling that void with wanting to reach for the phone, to have a scroll or to check messages that aren't there. But seriously, how often we fill up any gaps that we have instantly by reaching for the phone. So it's good to have time to reflect and to listen to random music in the construction zone. I had to learn things. He's talking about mixing concrete, I think, talking about the chemicals being more acidic and not working. That's so much stuff we don't know. It's other people's lives and other people's jobs and the work people do. And thank goodness, really, like we need that. We wouldn't have buildings. Somebody's probably devoted their entire life to mixing concrete so we can enjoy. If I hadn't dropped in on that conversation by walking past and being present, I would not have picked up on that information. Or maybe I've just misinterpreted it and got it completely wrong and just run off on a fantasy in my head, who knows. But anyway, so next time, that wasn't me. That was a boat. Although this would be an ideal place. Oh, stop it. Why am I thinking of this stuff? Fighting seagulls. Yeah, have at it. You express yourself. Next time you reach for the phone, if this is something you're trying to wean yourself off of being so addicted to, which is so easy right now, being in the on-call culture that we're living in, and the incessant need for our brains to be occupied, the incessant thinking, maybe a helpful exercise to do is every time I go to reach for my phone from now on, ask ourselves, what would I feel? Rather than filling the moment with phone poke, maybe fill it with that question. What feelings would come up? There's something special about waking up each day with a sense of curiosity and wonder. I think wonder is so incredible. Feeling contented and feeling appreciation, that is a successful life. I'm starting to feel that my mind is leaning in that direction now. The thinking mind, or the overthinking mind, causes a lot of suffering. If we expect the world to change so that we can feel better, then that's going to cause a lot of suffering, because look around. How much of stuff is just not how you want it to be? Oh, it's too cold today, or it's too hot today, or I don't look quite right, or oh, my nose is all red, or I've got a pimple on my chin. There's so much stuff with wanting things to be okay so that you can feel okay, I think is a trap, because it's never going to be okay. What's the antidote to that? What if we actually wanted things to be exactly as they are? What a mental load off that would be. And I'm talking about just our everyday life, nothing extreme, nothing, you're just the everyday, day-to-day things that we struggle with, that we wake up with, that we complain about. Look at that. That sun just perfectly coming up right between those two buildings. I was reading a book by Epictetus recently about how to be free. Such an engaging topic of a book, right? I saw that on the shelf and thought, oh, that's for me. Called out to me. And one of the things he said, I'm possibly misquoting now, the theme of it was, education is precisely learning to want all individual things to happen just as they do happen. Which is effectively saying, if you can get your head and your thoughts to think that you want something happening and you don't wake up fighting what is, you have one, freedom in your mind. The opposite of that is wanting everything to be a certain way so that you feel okay and that nothing upsets you, and then you're in prison. The world is going to continue being the way the world is. For example, walking around the street. There are so many times where I'm walking down Sydney CBD, going to work, going about my business, going for a walk, and people will just cut you off walking in front of you and then stop. Goodness knows, because they're usually on their phone, they're not even aware, they don't even notice. And normally we can just become angry and frustrated, but what if we thought that's exactly how this was supposed to happen? Them being stupid, shouldn't say that. Them behaving in an unaware state and just cutting other people off on the street. That's how it's meant to be. What if I thought that? And learning to maybe add something in there like, well, now's the opportunity for me to breathe, see if I'm actually here, present in my mind, or am I in my thoughts somewhere in la la land and stressing over something that hasn't even happened yet. So seeing an opportunity and then expecting it to be that way and then not fighting it. I'm a fighter and it's exhausting. Ooh, more open sun. They have been working on this block for a long time. I don't even know what's being built here. We're at Barangaroo at the moment and there's forever construction and something exciting around the corner. Maybe in 6 months' time we'll find out what that building is going to be. Another one of these monstrosities for sure. Ooh, look at that shot. The sun. You just stop caring after a while. Nobody cares, look. Just going to work, worrying about life problems and things and sneezing. Nobody cares. Your worry about what people think of you is so temporary. Wow, this is windy. Ooh, it's going to affect my production, post-production. Whoopsie. It's always very windy down here at Barangaroo, down near the rocks and at the Opera House. If anyone goes to the Opera House, there's more than likely you'll have tornadoes in your face. So I'm gradually realizing that the quality of our lives is not based on getting what we want. Things keep changing, life keeps changing. It's never the same. Even when you, for a split second, get something all aligned correctly in your life, it's a split second. The world's been here before we came into it and it's going to be here afterwards, so thinking that everything should be the way we want it and then basing our feelings off that, it just seems like kind of like building your house on sand, on shifting sands. It takes effort and such an awareness and a focus about what is running through your head as a thought so that you don't end up having those thought patterns and treating life as a series or a culmination of eras that you can't wait to be over and done with. Like in this decade, I can't wait to be finished because it's horrible for all of these reasons. And then this decade, oh, now I've got this. And then your whole life becomes a series of eras that you want to be over with. I recommend walking every day just for thinking and for sun and offsetting a lot of ailments we seem to be facing. Ooh.
There is no way I would take that call.
I just loved his laugh. It just made me happy. Did you hear it? I'll see if I caught that. And the final idea that's running through my head right now is the value of people. There's a study done by the Gottman Institute, I'll leave a link below, which I was reading a little bit into about ultimately what makes people happy, and it comes down to relationships. It's not power, respect, status, nothing. That all the things that we tend to be chasing after, it's people. It's our connections and quality connections. So it's not about the number of friends that you have or the number of people in your life. It's about the quality connections. We tend to get caught up in the numbers. How much is this? How much do I get of that? How many hits for my success metrics and all these areas of my life, but it's not about how many friends. It takes time to build trust. So maybe what are the quality of your connections? How are you finding, developing friendships and finding friends and people that you can reach out to, offer support to, feel understood? You can't treat people like a metric, because once you start measuring what you're getting in a relationship, it starts to feel like a transaction, and transactions with people don't feel like very long-term relationships. So having even one good friend is such a gift. Even a moment with somebody, those moments where you don't have any words to say, you don't say anything, and yet you feel like you understand each other, that is golden. That is special. And yet it's moments like those, they're not exactly the highlight of people's reels and TikToks and goodness knows what, but I think that's actually the best thing you can have with another person. So I hope that you have a good friend in your life, and even if you're still in the process of figuring out who your friends are, that's okay. You won't know sometimes if you're making somebody's day just being you, which is important to remember, to keep showing up as the wonderful person you are, because you don't know whose life you're impacting. There was a farewell morning tea at one of the jobs I work at, and people were saying how well they thought of her, how she brought such a positive attitude and how she worked really well with other people. And it made me think that, why do we leave it? It's like giving somebody a gift when they're not there anymore. I think maybe we should pretend to have farewells and tell somebody how much they mean to us, or the impact they've had on our life before they leave our life. It's a bit odd, and maybe it's a cultural thing. I don't know whether it's just something we do in Australia, but it's a gift both ways, because when you share with somebody how much they mean to you and the little things they do that make you smile or bring joy to your life, you feel good, they feel good, everyone feels the good. Sometimes we can be so busy in our life that we forget to tell people how much we appreciate them, and that's actually a perfect opportunity to say thank you for watching my videos, for being so supportive, and for being here. You are special and you are unique. This channel is not about changing the world by any stretch. It's not about getting millions of subscribers. It's about maybe one person will get something out of these videos, or will just have a laugh, or feel like they're not so alone. If you're feeling lonely, you are welcome here. So come along anytime and watch a video. You're not alone. There are a whole bunch of us. I've often found comfort in watching people's videos and realizing we're really all the same. We're facing the same stuff. I also love watching uplifting movies and listening to music. So you're welcome to come for a walk with me anytime. I'll see about doing more of these kinds of videos, because I can get a little bit cerebral sometimes. So the concepts get very meaty. And thank you, Wayne, for your comment recently, because it reminded me it's a time to do an unplanned uplifting video. As much as I love a good nerd topic for the old soft tofu mush sitting up there, it's also important to be playful and not take yourself too seriously, and to just get outside, and here we are walking together, appreciating that, appreciating you, and zoom out from your situation. Walk for the sake of just getting out and walking. You have the opportunity to get out and walk, not because there's any particular goal. And it's wonderful to just appreciate something as simple as just getting outside, not thinking too much, and enjoying your company. So thank you for being here.